So, how do men really see women? I mean, it's a question that's launched a million arguments, books, you name it. We spend so much time guessing or just assuming we know the answer. But what happens if you just ask them directly? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. A really fascinating and raw attempt to get some answers. Okay, so where's all this coming from? Our deep dive today is based on an episode from the Fye 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 podcast. And what they did was pretty bold. They got 14 different guys together. We're talking different ages, different backgrounds, different relationship situations, and they hit them with that exact unfiltered question. And the answers they got back? Whoa, they weren't simple, and you can bet they were not all on the same page, not even close. What the podcast ended up with was, it's like a fractured mirror, just a collection of really personal and often totally contradictory viewpoints. It really shows you just how messy and complicated this whole conversation is. So, okay, how did these 14 guys actually answer the question? Well, their responses kind of fell into a few key areas. You could almost call them battlegrounds: money, respect, and what a partnership even means. Let's kick things off with the first one. Right off the bat, the first big dividing line that popped up was, you guessed it, money. It's a classic topic for sure, but trust me, the takes on this were anything but traditional. Yeah, the whole debate really boiled down to one thing. In this day and age, what are the expectations around money and dating? And let me tell you, the answers were all over the map. So on one side of things, you've got Fred. He's 40, and his take is all about modern equality, right from date number one. For him, this idea that the guy just automatically pays for everything, that's a totally outdated script. And then, wow, the conversation just swings to a completely different, brutally transactional place. You have Dev the farmer, he's 38, and he's not messing around with subtlety. In his mind, the link between money and intimacy isn't just hinted at. It's a straight-up if this, then that deal. It's a worldview where pretty much everything is a trade. But wait, because then you have Cedric, who's 45, and he comes in with a totally different perspective. He's saying, look, it's not about going Dutch, and it's not about a transaction. It's about intention. For him, the actual effort of planning a proper date, sending that get dressed text, that signals a level of respect that a lazy, wanna chill text just can't compete with. And finally, you've got Wesley, 35. And you can really hear the frustration in his take. He's pushing back hard against the pressure, against being labeled. His whole point is that a guy's value shouldn't be tied to whether or not he'll pay a woman's bills. He's making a call for everyone to be financially responsible for themselves. You know, this whole debate over money, it was really just the tip of the iceberg, because it cracked open a much, much deeper question. What's the fundamental point of a relationship anyway? Is a woman a partner you build with, or is she an opponent in some kind of constant power struggle? And really, this question gets right to the heart of everything. Are men and women on the same team, fundamentally? Or are they stuck in some kind of endless battle for control? So Jamal's take is, well, it's unapologetically traditional and, yeah, for a lot of people, pretty controversial. He lays out this very clear hierarchy, a food chain in his own words. In his view, it's not a partnership of equals. It's a structure. The man's role is to lead and the woman's role is to follow. Simple as that. And then, talk about whiplash, just to show you how divided this is. The very next viewpoint is the complete polar opposite. It's Cedric again, and this time he's coming with a perspective of pure reverence. He sees women not as second in line, but as goddesses who should be put on a pedestal. Then there's Daryl. He's 44, and he actually hosts a relationship podcast himself, so he's thought about this a lot. He offers a completely different vision. He argues that your relationship is supposed to be your escape from all the conflict in the world, a safe space, not just another battlefield. But then Ryako brings in a much more combative idea. His view basically suggests that respect isn't a given, it's conditional. That if a woman crosses a line, then retaliation is fair game. This totally reframes the relationship, right? It's not a safe space anymore. It's a power dynamic where you can check someone or put them in their place. Okay, so amidst all these battles over money and respect, a third theme started to come through. And this one was all about finding a deeper, more meaningful connection, often a spiritual one. Take Pastor Norris. He's been married for 27 years, and his entire view is grounded in his faith. For him, it's all about what the Bible says love is: patient, kind, persevering. It's all about grace and growing together, not about fighting. In T, who's a 42-year-old farmer, really echoes that same idea of a spiritual partnership. He's clear he's not just looking for a girlfriend. He's looking for a wife who is on the exact same page with him, faith-wise, so they can become what he calls a powerful, godly couple. For him, that spiritual connection is everything.
Then you have Saeed, he's 28, and he shifts the focus just a little bit. He's calling on women to be a source of support, of peace. His view is that men are out there fighting all these hidden battles, and what they need from a partner is an ally, someone who builds them up, not someone who becomes another battle to fight.
And finally, Ernest brings the whole conversation back to something very tangible: accountability. Now, his take isn't explicitly spiritual, but his framework for the different types of deadbeats, it really speaks to wanting a complete partner, someone who shows up with their time and their commitment, not just their money. It's a call for men to be all in, to be fully present in the relationship. So, after hearing all of that from all these different guys, what's the takeaway? Well, the clearest thing is that there is absolutely no single easy answer here.
And when you really lay it all out like this, the major conflicts just become crystal clear. For every single issue, there were basically two opposing teams. Is a woman your partner, or is she the opposition in a battle? Is she a goddess, or, as some guys bluntly put it, a bitch? Is the goal a deep spiritual connection, or is it just a transaction? I mean, every single viewpoint had its exact opposite on the other side.
In the end, this podcast didn't find the answer to how men see women. Of course not. What it found was 14 different answers. It's like a mosaic of personal truths, each one shaped by that person's own unique life, their own wins, and their own deep-seated frustrations. The hosts of the original podcast, they finished up by just turning the question over to their audience. And honestly, that feels like the only right way to wrap this up too. So now it's on you. After hearing this whole spectrum of views, from partner to opponent, from goddess to transaction, what's your takeaway? What does all this make you think?